Howdy. So this is going to be kind of short, I think, but I was just thinking, or I had this phrase come to me in terms of a spiritual awakening, and I realize I've been sending voice messages to Minka. I think that's her real name. Anyway, she's kind of the first person who kind of has found me as somebody kind of as a references. I have used other people online as a reference of, hey, so I feel like my life is a little different and I don't know what to do about that. And I don't know if this means that I might have be having some kind of psychic break or what this might be, but my world seems different. Um, and so I've been thinking about the language around it and was thinking really I was just having a conversation with my sister, and I feel that now the conversations that we have, there's so many levels of communication to it. So there's the actual words, so the communication of the concepts in words in English. There's the resonance, the literal resonating of the sound of the stuff coming out of my mouth going through air and through the phone line, or not phone line, but whatever, connection to her. So there's actual sound. Then there's sort of the energy or the intention of these established conversation that I'm having with her. We set aside time every week to do this. So I've already kind of created sacred space before we even get into it. So there's that level. And then there's the fact that she and I are family of origin together, and so there's just like all those levels that one conversation can have. But we didn't always have conversations like that, and I realized that, or I, because I feel self-aware now, I'm able to tell. Oh, I'm able to experience this as a very multifaceted conversation. It's not flat in any capacity or in any way. It's a very rich multifaceted level conversation, which is really precious. And I'm realizing that I feel like the more self aware I become, like the more I know myself, that means the more I know and understand the universe in which I find myself because I exist. And either I'm in a matrix, which is still always a possibility. If it is, it's a matrix I like. Um, Kind of can't disprove that one, but the world that I live in and the way I understand it now, because of either an awakening, a spiritual thing, or uh, I don't know, just a combination of events that have made it really easy for me to believe there was a greater whole outside of myself, but yet is I am a part of. So I guess that could almost even be like a religious kind of proverbial coming to whoever you wish to come upon, coming to Xena. But that moment of, oh, yeah, I'm part of something bigger than just me. And so it can be a spiritual awakening or a Kundalini rising or a I'm a starseed kind of thing. And I looked up starseed because I was curious about when it first came into the lexicon. It seems to have been in the 70s. No big surprise there, I guess. Um, and so I was thinking, well, I wonder why there's the drive. Well, I understand when we feel uncomfortable or like this, I'm not from here or I don't belong here, we're humans, we have a great imagination. Some of us have tremendous imaginations. So hence that means I come from somewhere else. I yearn for something beyond me out in space, which could be. I mean, I feel like there's no reason to say that we would be related somehow to any other sentient kind of self-aware life form as it exists in the universe because we're all in the same universe. So we're all coming from the same soup. So in that sense, maybe we are picking up on energies of other things from or other sentiences, as they might exist in a very different chemical soup. I don't think we'll ever actually meet them corporeally in this 3D manner from this particular part of this solar system because matter going the speed of light seems really unlikely. And granted, different species might get really creative, and who knows? Maybe they're different. Maybe physics has different rules in different parts or in different time periods in its own lifespan. Actually, that's something that they're pretty sure is the case, is that physics was slightly different in those first Planck seconds. Okay, that was totally not where I was going with this. But I was kind of thinking, actually, one of the topics was uh, the fact that I feel like the message, I guess, if I have one, is perhaps for people who I want to be able to talk to people and say, you are not going crazy. Not that crazy is a bad thing, but that becoming more self aware can often involve major perception shifts in how you perceive the reality around you. Psychedelics do this too. All kinds of things. Probably really good sex, or I know really good sex. You can be in another world, right? Um, but that it doesn't have to plug into conventional astrology or rituals necessarily or anything else. It can just be self-awareness. And I think, like, really for my friend Jen, that I mean, she recognizes how any kind of inner becoming super intimate with one's inner landscape is incredibly personal, much like a religious experience would be, or any kind of ecstatic state, right? So the fun trappings of using my imagination to say, oh, and I have all these manifestations as part of being me because I'm the whole universe, so I get to be anything I want. They're just attributes to a greater whole. And I, as far as whether I think any of it is real, it's a concept. So I love the idea of it being real, that in some facet plane of the universe in which I live, I am a figurative dragon tending consciousness in some garden, which would be some planet or dust somewhere. Who knows? Maybe some aspect of my entangled quantum photons are in like some space manta ray. I don't know. I don't not know. So it's kind of fun to take on attributes of whatever comes along, of holy waters or people from the past, people in the future, imaginary creatures. I'm still going to my day job. I mean, I still live mostly in the reality that I find around me. So that's why I think I am not having a psychic break. And I do actually ask my partner from time to time. I've requested feedback that if I ever start to sound as though I am either like speaking in tongues or I am not speaking things that make any kind of sense, that he will alert me to this. So I figure as long as I'm not getting those flags, I am still very much a Terran human here on this planet. And in the interim, I am also discovering that if, as we discover more in terms of physics and consciousness, that the universe in which I live may very well be based on consciousness. And that means a living universe, which is even cooler than being on a living planet. And there's just so much that goes with that. One cannot, if you're always in the now, then you are somehow kind of always immortal as well, which has helped my death fears a lot. Anyway, I don't really mean to stop on that topic, but I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes. So, the more you know yourself, the more you know your universe, and the better you treat yourself, the better you treat your universe. Uh, for those who see this, thanks. And I hope it brings you insights and things to mull over. And oh, I do some writing too. I'll link up my written word kind of part memoir and some spiritual stuff. So that'll be in the comments below. Satnam.